Okay, can we start? Yes, okay, someone else is joining. Well, I think we can start. Welcome to everyone. I would like to welcome you to the transport session that is dedicated to the urban mobility. It's a little bit, let's say, in the afternoon, and I hope that it won't be a problem. You will? Okay. Urban modes, along with maritime transport and multimodal connectivity, are one of the three topics the Pillar 2, connecting the region transport, is focused on. The main objective is to support the integration of the urban nodes and the regional transport systems into a greener TEN-T network through various activities like sustainable urban mobility plans, integrated public transport service solutions for the largest urban nodes, with ultimate goal increasing the modal share of the public transport and better coverage of bike lines and bike networks in all urban areas as well. This session is focused on boosting the uptake of sustainable urban mobility policies in the cities of the Adriatic-Ionian region. Sustainable urban mobility represents a central objective of the EU urban and transport policies aimed at reducing congestions, accidents, air pollution, while improving the quality of the life in the urban areas. To simplify the expectations of the citizens is seamless transport and safe mobility, and it is up to the local governments to implement measures and undertake activities for finding the best solutions. Today, I will be, let's say, a moderator on behalf of the all three co-coordinators of our Pillar 2 transport, Mr. Jovica Rakic from the Serbian Ministry of Infrastructure, and our most prominent member, co-coordinator, Mr. Pierluigi from Italian Ministry for Transport, who is unfortunately was not able to come to Skopje on this forum. Today we have the pleasure to host the representatives of Mr. Lovren Markic from the city of Skopje, Republic of North Macedonia, Mr. Aydin Jananovic from Bosnia and Herzegovina, Faculty of Transport and Communication at the University of Sarajevo, and Mr. Franz Žepić from Republic of Slovenia from the Ministry of Infrastructure. Today with us we have also the representatives from the EUSAIR Youth Forum, Mr. Francesco Moroni from San Marino, and So I suggest to start with the presentations, and Mr. Lovren Markic from the city of Skopje, from the Department for International Cooperation in the city of Skopje. The city of Skopje needs, let's say, urgent planned measures and activities to improve the public transport and make the life of the citizens much easier than it is today.
Especially on rainy days, huh?
Yes, especially in days like this.
Okay, thank you, Jasminka, for your introduction. So, as Jasminka mentioned, my name is Lovren Markic. I'm Deputy Head of the International Cooperation Department, and from recently I'm also Head of the Project Implementation Unit for the Skopje Bus Rapid Transit project, which I will say a little bit more later. So, urban mobility is very important. I don't think that in this context we have to point that it is very important for the citizens, that the cities are made for the people, So, and not for cars. And this is one approach that we are trying to follow. I work in the city of Skopje for 20 years, and it is a very important question in the last 12, 15 years. But still there is a lot to be done, as Jasminka has mentioned, especially in the field of public transport. I will try to make some Айде сега нещо типна. Добре. Благодаря. So basically, yeah, of course, all cities, capital cities, major cities are even more facing the problem of congestion, and it is really one of the major tasks of cities to overcome, and it is very difficult. Once again, I will say that also Skopje struggles with that, and we are trying to find solutions to that. So one of the ways was basically to think about developing, first of all, a strategic document, which is a sustainable urban mobility plan. I hope everybody knows about that. It is a prerequisite already for the cities in the European Union. There is EU guidelines on how the sustainable urban mobility plans should be developed. And this is something that we are trying to do. As you can see up on this slide, that basically we as a city of Skopje already had 2 unsuccessful attempts to make a new sustainable urban mobility plan. Yeah, I will explain why. We managed to develop a sustainable transport plan in 2011 with the Civitas Renaissance project, but at that time there were no guidelines of the EU how this plan should be developed. So basically it was a very narrative document with some wishes how the things should look like. And then we entered in 2018 into a development of a new sustainable urban mobility plan that will follow the EU guidelines. This was done with the help of IPA funds, basically, and we had an advisory support of the JASPERS program, technical assistance of the European Investment Bank, and we developed a very, very detailed terms of reference on our sustainable urban mobility plan, which unfortunately in 2021 was unsuccessful. We had a change of mayors at that time, and unfortunately with the previous mayor, many things, I have to be honest, were very slow, and the sustainable urban mobility measures were also part of that. And basically there was one more unsuccessful attempt in the tendering procedure. Otherwise, everything else is ready. We've since we have a new mayor in the city of Skopje, Mrs. Orce Gurjevski. I hope you had the opportunity to meet him today at the opening of this conference. And I think that things are moving now much faster. We managed to, we are fighting actually, but I think we will win the fight to return the funds of IPA for third attempt of the sustainable mobility plan for the city of Skopje, which should answer many questions in the public transport, but also in the sustainable urban mobility measures like pedestrian and bicycling and park and rides and many other activities that are foreseen in every sustainable urban mobility plan, like the transport model to be updated for the city of Skopje and many other. And speaking on the sustainable mobility, I would also like to mention that EU projects are also very important. As I mentioned previously, the sustainable transport plan was made by the help of EU projects. I will also mention one very small project where City of Skopje was a partner, CREATE, and just few small cases, some of the photos are backwards, but okay, my apologies for that. But I will explain what are these photos. Basically what we've done. This is only one of the measures of the many things that were incorporated in the project, but it's something that I want to show to everybody, and especially to cities, how you can make a change. So on the streets, on the boulevards, for example, where we had 3 lanes of cars, which is 3.5 according to the guidelines. We've managed to narrow them to 3.05, which made the space for the bicycle lanes on the corridors, which made traveling with you see the red strip is basically for cycling, and we've done that successfully. Afterwards, we tested it then on 2 streets, and since then we've transferred this model to many other streets. So basically, it's just one small example, and that made life for cycling for the cyclists in the city of Skopje much easier. Okay, other measures that are okay. Other measures that now lately I can say that what the city of Skopje is doing with the support of the government is that we will have in our fleet 100 new buses, thanks to the Ministry of Transport and the government. We're expecting them to start arriving this year. Of course, there is a lot of work in that, but it will improve our public transport. For now, we have the only bus network, and of course, it will help the problem that Skopje has with air pollution, as like many other cities in the region. But Skopje is also heavily affected with that. So, I'm missing some slides. Okay, I'm going forward. Sorry. Okay. Yes, actually, I skipped this. Very important. It's not very convenient for me, from my position. Sorry for this. So basically, one other major issue that we were trying to work on in the past years was the improvement of the public transport, which is of course very important for the sustainable mobility, urban mobility. We've worked with the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development and managed to develop a project for the bus rapid transit in the city of Skopje, which includes 2 lines in the city of Skopje. Line 1 is east-west, because Skopje is a longitudinal city, 25 kilometers east-west and only 8 kilometers south to north. And basically, the first line is 12.8 kilometers from the east side of the town to the west side of the town, and the other line starts from the north, going to the south, and then going to east again. For now, this is the project. It's 70 million euros. And it will involve building of a new depot on the east side, upgrading the bus depot of the public transport company on the west side, and the corridor of centrally located bus rapid system in Skopje. Then we will continue with the feasibility study for the line 2, and I hope that we will have positive results, and then we will work on the line 2. At the moment, we are working on the tendering documents for the line 1. It should basically, this distance of 12.8 kilometers should be driven in 35 minutes. This is the scenario for us. In the peak hours, we plan to have buses on BRT vehicles, buses on every 3 to 4 minutes. For this phase of the project, we are going to procure 18-meter buses, so articulated buses. The design of the system is for B-articulated buses, for 24-meter buses, which I hope in the future we will manage to have them, so that we can, of course, have a more massive transport component. Hopefully we can have the first line finished by 28th of February 2029. Start of the work should be next year, March. It's going to be a yellow FIDIC, so it's going to be design and build project. Yeah, so this is it. I've already mentioned these smaller interventions that we have done, and I would like also to mention, which is important for the IPA Adrian region, that we are working as a city of Skopje also in the project Terrain, where we are also developing sustainable urban mobility measures, and we would like to improve the activities that we have as a city of Skopje, where we will basically also have a pilot. Pilot on the buses. We will try to make with sensors and and improve the air quality on the roofs of the buses. One of the measures, and that is done cooperating with the other Adriatic cities. Well, I would like to be very short, so I'll leave more time for questions. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Markic, for your presentation. It was quite interesting to share with us your experience in this area, which is as globally seen in this macro-regional strategy of European Union, quite an interesting example how some national or local urban plans can be aligned with some broader picture for all the citizens of the macro-regional area. In this example is for Adriatic Ionian region. Thank you. So can we announce an next speaker?
I don't know whether it's better to have questions after each presentation or to have it after. You have the questions, please.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. It was really interesting. Maybe it's not possible to say, but it would be interesting to hear if you know how big a percentage of the citizens of Skopje normally every day for commuting uses buses, and how it will change when you are introducing this line number one. So I mean, what is your hope? How much more people will move on bus transfer? Because this is the only transfer we don't have tram, no?
No. This is a replacement for the tram, basically. Yeah, we've done feasibility study for the tram, but basically from the idea of developing a tram project, we've moved to developing a bus rapid transit system, which will be centrally aligned. In a way, kind of it can be considered as a replacement of the tram. That's why we have designed it for possibility of 24-meter buses, which can be carry more passengers. The public transport data are fluctuating. I don't have very newest information, to be honest, because this project was also in a stalemate for 3 years, so a lot of things have been not done, and we just managed to bring it back to life. Skopje has 50 million passengers per year in the public bus transport, and it used to have 100 million passengers per year in the 1990s, beginning of the 1990s. So unfortunately, we are decreasing the number of public transport passengers, and we are hoping to increase this number, if I'm not mistaken, from the technical due diligence that was done 6 years ago, hopefully optimistically 30% from nowadays. That's what we hope. That was starting the project with 18-meter buses, because of course this shift cannot go that fast. And the data that we have for the model split are very old, so I don't think they are very, very correct, real to tell them.
Yes.
So
but
I hope
optimistically in the future,
optimistically 30%,
it will be more greener,
yes,
and more safer and faster for all the passengers. So
yes, I hope so. I
Yeah,
hope so.
we
It's
also
a
hope
huge project for us, very important, I would say. Maybe it's not so big in numbers, in money in that, but I think it can be a real urban transformation of the city and bringing the city, as I said, which is very important to the people. It's much better if you travel by public transport, bicycling, pedestrian, walking. It's really, really, you know all of the benefits. It's good for the health, it's good for the environment, and of course it's much, much cheaper.
Yes, as you mentioned in the beginning, cars are made for people, not vice versa. So that would be one of the key messages of this presentation. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? If not, I would like now to invite Mr. Rajdin Jananovic from the Faculty of Traffic and Communication of the University of Sarajevo to join us and to tell us about the experience of city of Sarajevo in resolving the transport congestion. Please, Mr. Rajdin.
Yes, thank you. Is this my presentation? Can you change, please? Okay, hello everyone, my name is Rajdin Jananovic. I come from the University of Sarajevo, from the Faculty for Traffic and Communication, and today I will represent the city of Sarajevo and the canton of Sarajevo from the field of the urban mobility. First of all, I want to thank the organizer for calling us to share our experience and our approach to the sustainable urban mobility in the canton Sarajevo. This is the content of the presentation. In short, I will not go into some technical detail of our projects. I will try to speak from the strategic point of the view, what we made, where are we now, and where will we be from the next 5-10 years. What is our point of view? For the people who maybe do not know very well the Sarajevo, there is different when we mention city of the Sarajevo and Sarajevo canton. Sarajevo canton is like one region. There is a big blue map. It contains 9 municipalities. 4 of that 9 municipalities create the city of the Sarajevo. And that is the main municipalities in the canton of the Sarajevo. I put their picture just for understanding our conditions, and also these small pictures show the line, network line of the public transport. If you can see on the right, there is more density of the public line in the city of the Sarajevo than on the canton of the Sarajevo. Also, what is very important to say for the Sarajevo, same like Skopje, it's a totally longitudinal city. From the east to the west, we have something about 15 kilometers, but width is 2 to 3 kilometers is depend of the where you measure. That is something that is characteristic of the Sarajevo, and our all urban planning is connected to this shape. Okay, we bring first SAMP on 2020, and it's out of the date in the 2025. Of course, the basic pillars is the same like the in every other city. That is our first experience. We try to put some measures, goals, and find way to how to achieve the presented goals. Now we are in the process of creating a new SAMP. Of course, we don't achieve all the goals of the SAMP, but this was the basic document to change the point of the view of the government on the field of the sustainable urban mobility. Maybe 2 years before adopting the SAMP, government of the Canton Sarajevo start to really work for the sustainable urban mobility. In 2018, we lose commuters from the public transport. We lose it. We have bad infrastructure, old fleet. There is no any advantage of the public transport in that period. Why someone to use it? And in that period, we start to, with our two phase. I separate like two phase of the strategic view of the Canton Sarajevo. In the 2018, we start with the first phase. Very expensive phase, but it is necessary. I think now we are ready to move to another phase. This first phase, we invest more than 200 millions of the euro in the public transport and other systems. In that period, we renew our fleets, buy new trams, new trolley buses, and still in the future we're planning to buy new electric bus and new trams. Also in this period, we modernized our existing tram lines, trains. We also expand our trains to 6.5 kilometers, double check. Also renew and extend the trolley bus network. This trolley bus was before war also to 1/5 very important municipality out of the city of the Sarajevo, but is destroyed during the war. Now we bring it back to the Canton Sarajevo. It will be covered. It is covered with the trolley bus network. That is very big investments in the public transport. We need to do it. Like I said, we lose totally commuters. Of course, students have to use it, public transport. They do not have opportunity. Pensioners needs to use it. But commuters, if they have opportunity to buy car, use car, they use the car. Our level of service in the public transport was terrible. Now, maybe it's too technical. I will go on the next slide. Now I think we are ready for the next phase of the promoting of our public transport and to give all the best of us to back commuters in the vehicles, because we don't have nothing to offer them. Now, very good trams, excellent trams, new trains, new network. Just need to continue to work on integration of all public systems to satisfy daily movement of the commuters. And that will be the focus of the next second phase of the Canton Sarajevo. We will try to integrate all parts of the systems in one big, which is totally adopted to the final user. When I mentioned that, I think on the first and last mile movement to the public transport, and also to develop the subsystems, micromobility subsystems or active mobility. Also now at this moment our infrastructure, bicycle infrastructure, is not very well, and that need to be focused on the next period in this second phase. For this second phase, sorry. For this phase will be totally included in our new SAMP. On the Friday, for example, we will have our living lab with the stakeholders to discuss and create measures, fundings, responsibilities for the new SAMP. Also, what is very important to say from the field of the Canton Sarajevo, in that 2018, government starts to make decisions based on the research. That is something that we do not have in the past. But now, my university, together with the other institutions, work a lot of the different studies to see what is the truth and what we need to do in the future. And that is also a very big step for us. We start to make the studies. We start to listen the users, the customers of the public transport and of the whole system in the city. Also, at this moment, we have 15 students who make the survey on the determining the level of the service of the adopting public transport lines to necessary of the population. At this moment, it is happening. Also, Sarajevo, city of the Sarajevo, signed the climate contract before a few months, and this is also very important for us because it is based for the next grants for the next project which we will apply for them to, for example, extend the bicycle lines, to purchase new electric buses, new electric taxis, new electric fleets for the institutions and the other. There is the 5 pillars of the climate contract related for the urban mobility. Of course, we're trying to be in coordination, cooperation with the cities in the Bosnia, other cities in the Bosnia, other cities in the region, and to apply on every project to get grant, to make interactions, to see how another city work and to learn from them. Maybe that is some highlights from my presentation. Such as I said, I'm not going in the details. A lot of project done in the previews, but also we need to continue to adopt now this service which we have to the users. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Jananovic. It was a very, very interesting topic also, as I said, for the last presenter. Basically, Sarajevo has that, geographical position that the pollution basically stays in the city. So the people probably are not happy with that issue. So it's very, very it's very positive that you have managed to do some research with the final users, with the people, and the public transportation is so-called people-oriented, and I believe that would be very, very comprehensive in the future. So good luck with that. Yeah. So the cooperation between other cities is very, very useful in the region, especially in macro-regional strategy, Adriatic Union. So we are willing to share our experiences with you and you with us. So that would be a very useful and successful story. So thank you.
Sorry, I just forget this new SAMP is also regarding to terrain. We start with the terrain and we will finish it, I hope, to end of the year. Terrain project, I think a lot of there is the representative for the terrain.
So yeah.
Any questions? Yes.
I have a hard one. So basically, the new guidelines tells us that some should be for the functional urban areas, that is a bit wider circle than the city itself.
Yeah.
And you, of course, have this hard task to handle the movement of people that is not only, it's basically two, not entities, but you have Federation and Republic, you have people living close to each other, and basically, how do you cope with the problem of,
borders
and movements of people, and of course you have to account for that movement, even though you Can you do this? Even though you're not doing probably some for the regions of Eastern Sarajevo, or I don't know.
Okay.
How do you cope with
Yeah. Thank you for the questions. Maybe just to clarify, city of the Sarajevo, Canton Sarajevo, that is different administrative level, but the responsibility of the public transport is on the regional level, on the canton level. And they have the authority, ministry, order. This climate contract is signed for the wide region, together with the East Sarajevo. And yes, that was the one of the conditions to signing that climate contract. Running problem, of course, we're trying something with our railway lines for entering from some parts out of the Sarajevo to introduce, to substitute existing train lines like public transport lines, to increase the number of the users who entering in the canton of the Sarajevo. That is that we done in the past. In the future, we can only work with the expanding new bus lines. When you look at the geography, that is only what is possible. East Sarajevo and the Sarajevo is too far away to connect, for example, by bike. We have some touristic route, but investment in that can be very, very big, and also it's from around the other borders with the Canton Sarajevo. In this phase, connecting railway lines with the city center, in the future expand the bus. But we will see. We also, like said, this Living Lab means us a lot. This EU project, who based on the Living Lab, change mindset. Like I said, first we on one place called the operators, called the cities, called the users, and they give the measures. They say the problems, and we hope so. In this process, we will also find the measures for your problem. I hope I answer on that hard questions.
Okay, thank you. There is
Thank
no
you.
other
Thank you very much.
questions. Mr. Franz Žepić, our dear colleague from the Ministry of Infrastructure from Slovenia, also involved in the Danube strategy, and he will talk about Slovenia's path to the sustainable urban mobility. Franz, please.
So, good.
What I call full modal integration, taking care of road, rail, aviation on the same basis, with the same approach, not trying to privilege the one against the other, because there is a belief, at least my belief, that all modes, only if they cooperate, they can deliver what people need. So this means that we use them the best possible way. So let's go to my presentation. You will notice that we will talk around the sums, and I will mention sums all the time, but in Slovenia we are calling it comprehensive transport strategy. So whenever I will mention comprehensive transport strategy or vice versa, it means sums for you, okay? So let's start. So the Slovenia has been one of the first countries who started the trams. We learned from the colleague from Sarajevo that 2011 they would start thinking. We did as well at that time. However, we produced the first pilot project in 2012. We did it in a capital, in Ljubljana, and we did it in a very small city called Ljutomer. After that, we have establish at the same time the Slovenian platform for sustainable mobility on a national level. This platform, unfortunately, is only in Slovene. So if you visit it, it's not in English. That's a big mistake. So we did it a year before the first urban mobility package has been adopted and approved by the Commission, as well as the guidelines. The first guidelines, as we all know, and it was mission in 2013, the second in 2019, and now we have some other milestone, and the last important was, as was already mentioned several times, the TEN-T regulation. I'm going to come back later. So, regional diversity, it means that we have sums all over, and you have 3 cities mentioned here. Why? Because I work in Ljubljana, I live in Prevalje, north border to Croatia, but I was born in Chernobyl. So I deliberately picked these 3 out of 80 possible. This is just for intermezzo, you know. So, Slovenian approach evolved in 2 major stages or phases. And the first one has been this 2012-2021, when the sump has been on a voluntary basis. You do it or you don't do it. But if you do it, we will support you financially through the cohesion funds. And 80 municipalities decided to do this. You see the map there, only those red flag spots has no sump, all others has. And then it came the second phase, as we call it, which is modernization of the sumps, plus all the other things that we are talking today, like digitalization and so on. And at that time, we have the first law. So the act, the Slovenian Comprehensive Transport Planning Act, that has 3 levels. First level is municipal level, regional level, and national level. As a result, there is a synchronized national network where local successes, be it from the capital or other major, minor cities, small cities, are mirrored, adopted, and we learn from each other. I have to say, didn't stress probably that the first phase was awareness rising and learning. It was not so much that we would have a perfect sump in all municipalities. But the most important is that you have it. You have something to build on. So if I continue, the technological things are changing our life, and the Ljubljana, I have been asked to speak mostly about Ljubljana. Ljubljana has been the first city as the most promoting, the visionary city, if I may call it, like a living laboratory for all these experiments and later on operational things. So the city of Ljubljana first focused on pedestrianization and cycling. And right now, with a new sump that has been just adopted, 2025-2032, it goes to regional multimodality level, which means that it is, you have been mentioning your canton with 9 municipalities, but we have a part of city of Ljubljana, 24 municipalities around. Ljubljana as such has 300,000 inhabitants. The surrounding has more than 500,000. And it is important that all of them would have a synchronized system that would work with each other. We have been also very proud or happy that we have 3 cities that has been part of so-called climate neutral and smart cities through the EU mission. And these 3 cities has different pillars to take off: mobility, energy, and circular economy. Ljubljana is not for mobility is crime. Ljubljana is for circular economy. Anyhow, if we go on, that's something that we want to move on, entering a new technological phase. And this is happening through the electrification of our bus fleet and through the lately hydrogen technologies. We have a couple of months old, so it's brand new hydrogen hub and electric hub for all public buses, well, whole Ljubljana buses for all Ljubljana network. And of course, this refueling station, Stanišiće, which is northwest part of Ljubljana, suburbs, is now a key spot for all our buses. We have what I need to say also, there is a renewal of fleet done so that we have replacing all the diesel or petrol buses with battery electric and hydrogen fuel. And how we are doing it? We are doing it with this financial support through our National Climate Fund, based on the EU emission coupon legislation of the EU. And then, of course, the last but not last to mention at this moment is Ljubljana Passenger Hub, which is under construction. And finally, we do believe that we would really get some rail-to-bus station with enabling cycling, walking, and all public services really close on the spot. So that now, for example, you have to walk different distances to reach the public transport from the railway station. So, while we have been expanding walking and cycling culture regionally, and Ljubljana has been the core for this, we have bike and share like many other cities called Bicycle, and this is now trying to expand itself to the other municipalities regionally, but because bicycle is for some people not, how should I say, appropriate or maybe too difficult for them to cycle 6 kilometers, 10 kilometers, we are now through the projects that have been mentioned a couple of times today, Terrain, trying to do this with the e-bikes, electric bikes, because we believe that with a big expansion of electric bikes nowadays going on, this is something that could stimulate people to use also this kind of mode. I also have to say that we have for city electric bikes, which means that they should not be mountain electric bikes, we have subsidy. So, for example, if you buy a bike for, I don't know, 3,000 euros or 2,000 euros, you receive 500-600 euros back from the state as a reward because you are moving to this. And now this second phase, as I mentioned already, modernization, digitalization, it was already mentioned by our colleagues earlier, mass as a service, and we are working a lot on our Urbana ticket. Well, Ljubljana is working, not me ministry. So that you can use it for city, for regional buses, bike sharing, city parking, including park and ride. So that only one ticket could allow it, while not for time being for car sharing. Car sharing has been, for whatever reason, given by Ljubljana city to a concession, by concession to a concessionaire a while ago. I put this picture, I love it because there are no 5 electric is made in Slovenia, you know. Okay, so what we are doing, we are going to data-driven planning using mobility data to optimize routes and reduce regional traffic congestion. And now, when we are speaking, these days, these weeks, our Ljubljana Potnički promet, so Ljubljana public transport is working very hard on new plans on the bus lines in Ljubljana. Because you know, presently all bus lines are going through the center. So there is no direct link between west and north, north and east, east and south. So now they are trying to figure out what streets, how to use that commuters would have an easy access to job so that they would not need to go through the center. But I cannot tell you more because for time being I don't know much. So we have successes, we have challenges, remaining problems. Success can be, or one of them can be, that the area of 20 plus hectare is car-free in the center of Ljubljana. Then we have several park and ride areas close to Ljubljana motorway ring. I'm going to speak later. But, and of course, we are a success that we have been mentioned or added to climate neutral cities by 2030. However, we have also a lot of gaps, or how should I say, things to be solved in the future. Same goes for personal vehicles. A lady asked, what is a share? In Ljubljana, I'm talking about the commuters and daily users in Ljubljana, more than 50% people use car. I'm one of them. I'm one of lucky them. So only 15% use bicycle, less than 15 use public transport, around 13%, and around 2 to 5% train are coming to city by train. Train is neglected, so we need to work a lot on train improvement for nearby cities. I don't know if I forgot something, but doesn't matter. Let's go on. So we have a problem with commuting habits. The second, why people are using so many personal vehicles is centralization of jobs. We have, in last 35 years, most of the jobs are in Ljubljana. So people from Celje, from Koper, Postojna, Maribor even, are traveling daily to Ljubljana. And because of slow railways and slow buses, they choose car. And then we have, when you arrive in Ljubljana, we have a bottleneck in the rush hours, and everything is stand still, which is not good environmentally, not good for point of energy, not good from point of economy, not good at all. So this, and of course, dispersed settlements, which means that a lot of Slovenian settlements are very slow, very small, below 1,000 inhabitants, even below 500 inhabitants, dispersed on the hilly areas of Slovenia around. So you cannot make a public transport that would bring from each village these people to the city in a short time period. Of course, it can do 20 kilometers in I don't know how much, but then people don't like it. Anyhow, we cannot go to details. So, as I already mentioned, there is a need for more aggressive rail infrastructure upgrades at national level, but of course also on the regional. And there is a city parking policy and data-driven management, and we are working a lot of this so that we would have parking spaces available on your mobile application and so on through C-Park, so that you will understand where are the free parking areas in Ljubljana and where are not. And this is one of the tasks, or will be stored, this data, with the National Center for Traffic Management, which is also supervising the national or state roads, including motorways. Whereas the traffic jams, they give you all information in winter, whereas no problems. They even talk to Austria and neighboring countries in order to give you all information. But doesn't matter. Let's go on. So now, my favorite topic is TEN-T regulation and urban nodes. Because urban nodes has been introduced in the latest TEN-T regulation, and as you know, earlier when we talk about the urban mobility package, whatever, the Commission started late. I have been working with Commission from 2002 to 2010 closely, and I know that whenever we mention something about the urban mobility, the Commission will say, yes, but this is subsidiarity. It's not for EU level, it is responsibility of each city. So what we can do, we can facilitate, promote, we can encourage cities to exchange best practices, but we cannot intervene. So now slowly this thing is changing, and with 10T, it changed drastically. It changed drastically because the urban nodes, there are 430 of them who are obliged to follow this. There is a long-term roadmap with planning mandates on physical infrastructure completion. So we have end of 27 that we would have sumps, so we would have papers, documents. If we do something, fine. If we don't, also fine. But the end of 2030, it's the end of joke. You have to also implement multimodal passenger hubs, and this is for passengers. And in 10 years later, also for freight, which means that you have to have a freight terminals, railroad freight terminals, whatever, that would operate in these urban nodes. Next. So, what is even more interesting than the chapter on urban nodes in TED is the annex. I love it. Because in particular in the point 4, the annex says that we should alleviate congestion, improve road safety, and remove bottlenecks affecting the traffic flows on the trans-European transport network. What does it mean for cities like Ljubljana, where you have 3 10 European transport corridors, Baltic Sea, Adriatic Sea, Mediterranean, and Western Balkan, Eastern Mediterranean, overlapping at Ljubljana crossroads, Ljubljana ring. So, and it creates the bottleneck. So there is a capacity mismatch, so to say, because on one hand, we are asked for seamless transit. On the other hand, the roads are not promoted. So what to do? How to solve it? Well, anyhow, we have to understand that at this moment, soft urban measures, if we understand soft urban measures as just asking people to go to bicycle and to walk, are not enough. So we need to do something in terms of infrastructure. So that's this ring, which I want to say that it was in 20th century when it was started, I call it the engineering masterpiece, because it added to safety and traffic flow. And I don't know many cities in the Europe that would have completed this ring. And at that time, it was a real relief. However, it was a bypass, now it is a bottleneck. And we have to do something to solve this puzzle of commuters and transit. And then the key issue is the competence. Who is competent? We know that the city is competent for city roads, for city, and a ring is inside of the city. And the ring is responsibility of the state. And now we have to figure out. So we believe, at this moment, all believe that the regional sump can bring a solution. That the regional sump will be the link between the TEN-T and this city, Ljubljana city policy, and all the municipalities that we would try to figure out this solution. So, I would like to mention also cycling. Everybody is so keen of cycling, and we talk a lot about cycling. And we are proud that we have a lot of new cycling passes and so on in Slovenia and in Ljubljana. But the real life is that too many times, with a desire to have the cycling route, we are allocating this sign of a cycling route to something that is far from being a cycling route. For example, on a regional or municipality road, you put a sign for cycling route number, I don't know what, R10. But will you take your children, your family to this road? No, because there are probably trucks, there are buses, there are everything, you know. So this is not the way to solve. We have to be responsible, and we have to invest more in transport, in cycling infrastructure, transport, cycling infrastructure. So you see, that we have a study, a recent study, not very old, couple of months ago, of 75 kilometers of cycling route through the methodology of so-called cycle rep. And what it showed that only 11% of analyzed routes are completely safe. 51 are high or extremely risky. And then we are talking about the accidents. We are talking about fatalities. We are blaming, I don't know who, but not that we do not build infrastructure that we need to. And then these primary hazards you can read is a lack from separation of motor vehicles. I appreciate very much the presentation from Skopje when you said these red lines and so on. The problem with these red lines are they are good start, but probably you will have to think about the safety. Again, I'm saying, will you take on this cycling route your 10-year-old child with you? When bus passes by or truck, you know, children are not so stable sometimes, and even elderly. But anyhow, this is good move. Don't misunderstand me. I'm far from against.
We also have dedicated bus lanes because, you know, about very 1963,
Yeah.
so a lot of boulevards were built and they are huge now and they are completely separated. So a lot of kilometers in Skopje are separated. And I use the K of the little mother with my own cars or anything. I can go from my home, I only has one street. But there are some ways of places and where you cannot live.
Yeah.
Make a space, so this is one example how to make space. It's not that safe, of course, it is for adults.
Yeah. No, thank you. I understand. I'm not saying this to criticize. I'm just saying that there is a lot of room to improve.
Of course, I will try to find this.
Yeah. So,
The red color was taken from
Yeah.
our quiz.
so what I want to say, it's not only availability, it's quality. Now, to end up my presentation, also I still have 3 slides, but probably I will stop here. So, we believe, maybe we are not the only one, that our strength lies in methodological consistency. So from national guidelines to local execution. In this, that our sums are a live roadmap, so that we are changing them as things develop. And we do it regardless of small town or a bigger town. And we try to go towards the 2030 climate neutral goals. So this Ljubljana sump is now the first one that must legally bridge the gap between municipal lifestyle mobility and TEN-T, a huge challenge. And then what is important is that in the first phase we have funding-driven planning, also voluntarily by, as I say, cohesion funds, but now it is law-driven integration. So now we have a law, it's legally binding. And we continue with our trend to do something that is, let's say, to be the first to move towards regional sums, covering multiple municipalities. Also, I understand the others are also doing very well. So in spite of tangible results over past 20 years, much remains to be done in the coming years. So thank you very much. The cycling route is my route and my bike. Any questions, please?
Thank you, Mr. Žepić. Is there any questions? Yes?
I
Please.
have a question.
The mic. Yeah.
No, it's great that you all mentioned the terrain project, which I also know quite well because I live in Bologna and I've been working with the municipality also on this project. One of the things we're doing is trying to promote behavior change, which every country, every city has its own culture. And one of the things we're trying to do is create a safer environment for sustainable mobility. And, we have a pilot program that teaches children cycling and road safety skills. That's one part of the pilot. And then we also have a city 30 policy. So, oh well. But maybe you all heard what I said. I think one of the biggest challenges for any sump is the changing the behavior. In Italy and specifically in Bologna, we have a problem of the motor valley culture. What does that mean? It means that people like cars and motorcycles, and they like to go fast, and they do it, and it's a big problem. And the city's 30 policy is something that goes against this culture because most of our city streets are supposed to be at 30 kilometers an hour, and it's clearly marked, but then we've had some polemics. But my question is, what can cities do to get their citizens to move to more sustainable mobility behavior?
Well, I cannot answer this question because I am not the one to, let's say, force people in this room to go to bicycle to walk. No, my task as a civil servant, someone from ministry, is to enable you to choose. So for me, is to do a safe cycling path or route, to make a safe road, to make a good train, and then you choose. Or if you want whatever walking area. This is my philosophy. But what I think is that mostly cities are making a big mistake because different policies, like urban policies, planning of spatial planning, like we are building a huge block of flats or shopping areas in an area where there is already a problem, instead, let's say, of a park, of a green area, you know. But this is because of money makers. Everybody wants to have a lot of money, so you build a skyscraper, you earn a lot, and who cares about congestion? Who cares if there is no space for the cars or bicycles or whatever? You know, this is there are a number of policies that are interchanging. And they should be in urban areas, in big cities in particular, even much more working together. That's my personal thinking, but I cannot answer your way. For example, I show you, I have a bicycle, I'm cycling, trying to do it for weekends because during the week I'm working, but I will never cycle in Ljubljana. I'm too old to risk today, you know. Of course, young people do it. They drive. We have a lot of micromobility. We have a lot of accidents with e-scooters. A lot. Young people are modifying it so that they can go even faster than it is allowed. We have deaths. We have severely injured. We have a lot of this because micromobility took us by surprise. When it appeared, everybody said, yes, let's go. And we are not prepared, nor police, nor legislation, nor infrastructure, nothing. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
How much time do you have? Nothing.
Nothing. Fortunately, but we have time for questions, yes. Was first, yeah, colleague,
Yeah.
yes.
No.
Okay. Okay.
1, 2, okay. Hello, so my name is Clyde from the EUSAIR Youth Council. So thanks a lot for I guess, all your presentations. I'm happy you mentioned in the last presentation the urban nodes and these multimodal hubs concept that the SAMs established and the deadline they put. I think the deadline issue becomes a bit concerning to me, I think, and raises some questions because I come from Albania, and countries in our region, especially those in the Western Balkans, not yet part of the EU, still developing countries, especially still developing capital cities, still sprawling, under development, under construction, with new urban development and new areas still under construction. And also very important, we're still underdeveloped and still unconstructed intercity connections or multimodal intercity transport links. So these multimodal hubs that this new the SAMS directive tries to establish and tries to set to be built creates a problem, I think, because if we decide that in our capitals, in Tirana or in Skopje or in Sarajevo or in Belgrade, which is a bit more established, let's say, in this intercity transport, tries to set it in a certain place by 2030, then it creates a problem because it might create a new bottleneck by 2035, because that new multimodal hub, which should be at the entrance of a city or in a periphery area where this multimodal area should connect this intercity transport with intracity transport, which should be already foreseen how it should look like, in 2030 will be outdated in our capitals, which develop at such a rapid space, at such a rapid speed, and also unregulated in many cases or informal ways. So I think what would you suggest could be some ways to mitigate such risks in our cases? And maybe it's a question for you, but also for the other panelists which come from our capitals, which face such problems. I think so. It's a question. And my second question, I'm sorry if I take too much time, is a bit on this, something which was not touched on the presentation, but I think is very fundamental, is on the business model part of our perspective of transport in the city. So all these SAMS investments and ideas and concepts that we presented, I think have something very fundamental which has to do with the financing model of how they will be implemented. I come from a city like Tirana where the public transport is so much spread in different small contracts which are licensed to different private sector operators. And there is very complicated way of how can we do any kind of investment which does a comprehensive way to solve this public transport issue. So I think there is also this business model thing that we have to think about when we think how to implement this transport system. So maybe that's something I'd like to hear from Skopje, because Sarajevo is a bit already has a tram system, already has a trolley bus and a bus system, but Skopje, which is a bit similar to Tirana's case, I think, at the current state, with a BRT system already on the pipeline, same as Tirana. I think, how are you thinking of the business model to implement the BRT and to integrate with the existing situation?
The last question, then I will answer it. Well, basically, one good thing in our public transport network at the moment, maybe the only, is that we managed like 12 years ago to integrate the private and the public and the private operators under one system, under the city of Skopje system. So now they are paid per kilometers. There is a tendering, they apply, so we control the process. This is very good. So that way it's easier. Of course, I didn't mention, we are also working on a bus restructuring study. We had delay in that as well. But anyway, we are finishing in 5 months. So basically, which means that we will have a new bus network, as Franz was mentioning, also in Sarajevo. So basically, it's 3 scenarios without BRT, with BRT line 1, how to fit the BRT line 1, and then with BRT line 1 and BRT line 2, then how to fit. So there are 3 scenarios that we are working on, how to improve the public transport network. And where there is BRT line, there is no other lines. So all the other buses will fit the BRT lines. So, and the public transport will also be part of that, again, together with the public transport. And that's it, basically. I think, luckily for us, this was a huge problem also for us, because they were unregulated, they were driving whenever they want, wherever they want, more or less. you know, and nowadays it's good because they are in a system where we pay them, and it's a bit better. Of course, there are many other challenges in the public transport, but this has been solved. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you.
Yeah, but we have it more. Okay, is everything already answered? I don't know.
And on the first question,
Okay,
second
no,
question.
there's no answer.
there is no answer.
There is.
The answer is, as
Okay.
Frank mentioned, planning
Wait.
is a role, and it is very
Yeah.
hard to fight. You make a boulevard, and then there are 3 skyscrapers over there, and there is congestion. Of course, there is congestion.
Yeah.
How to solve that? There is no possibility to overcome that. So I don't have an answer. I had this question many times. No answer, sorry, from my side.
So, okay.
Thank you. I think this is a very interesting discussion. Thank you for that. It's also the first time in my career I hear that someone thinks it's that someone loves EU regulation. I'm very happy to hear that. It's very motivating. Well, to be a little bit more honest, we were talking about behavioral issues. And I was wondering whether you at all have been thinking about lowering the costs for people living in cities in order to make them, I mean, obviously this is a great motivator, no, to make public transport cheaper. If you have all been contemplating on that, or if it is just not possible because of financial issues, or, I mean, how is the thinking going there? It would be interesting to know, because I think to lower the prices would be a possibility to change the behavior. Yeah.
Can I just give an example? I'm sorry for our expert from Serbia didn't make it here today because of some logistical issues. But we will send the presentation of our expert to intranet. We'll updated it. So basically, in Belgrade we have free public transportation now. That's I think a lot of it costs a lot. It's a budget strike, but. On the other hand, people are more using the public transportation now and are very, how should I say, welcome to use it, because the most of the public transportation in Belgrade are electric ones. There are trams or electric buses, or I don't know, metro is building right now, and it will be in several years, but we will have one. So that's a huge impact on social life of the city, on the pulse of the city. Also, I think Luxembourg has the free transportation. Yeah. So yeah, I personally like that idea, or to reduce the costs of the public transportation maybe is an option for the behavioral of the people, of the users. So if you don't mind, I would like to have some conclusions of the meeting, because we don't have any much time left for so we have to bring this beautiful discussion to an end. So the Western Balkans, especially, is we can agree that it's a bit different situation from the different position from the EU member states, and that brings us to a bit different context concerning the sums. So Western Balkan definitely are committed to EU alignment and to improve the sustainable urban mobility which is helped a lot by EU regulations and transport rules, especially in Chapter 27 and Chapter 14. And also sustainable urban mobility plans are the key tools of achieving that goal. So the modern cities surely need, especially in the cities in the Adriatic Ionian region, needs a strong public transportation systems, which are the investments are needed in all kinds of means of transportation, especially the ones that are low carbon or carbon free, and the systems such as the bus rapid transit is essential to reduce the traffic, the pollution, the accidents, and it helps to increase the safety of the passengers and transport in all. So the citizens also accept simple and connected travel from one spot to another. So people doesn't want to think too much about the transportation. They just need to get from one place to another with less stress and with more green air, clean air. And also the regional cooperation is very important for development, especially public transportation in the Adriatic Ionian region. So we can also learn from the best practices from the EU member states and the capitals and other developed cities in those countries. So that could be a great example for all of us how to move in the future and how to plan these kinds of very important issues of the public life. So, if you have something else to add, or someone else has something else to add, please. Yeah? No?
No, if not, thank you very much
Thank you very much
for your presence.
Yeah.
It's a little bit maybe.
Yeah, we're missing our colleague
afternoon.
Pierluigi.
Yes,
So
Pierluigi
yeah,
is here.
we are trying to do our
To
best
replace him
to
as
replace
much
him.
as
of his
we can.
experience. Yes.
So
So
thank you again, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you.